Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and today we are back with the Carenado 182 Tango. Now guys, this aircraft hasn't been flown by me in quite a long time. It has received various updates as the time has gone on, but today we're going to find out if it's any good in comparison to some of the other available aircraft, and we'll talk about more what that comparison looks like right after this. Make sure, if you guys can, that you join us at Flight Sim Expo 2023. That's right, Overkill Simulations is going to be present this year, guys, at the Lone Star Museum in Houston, Texas. If you guys are interested in joining us there, be sure to check down the description below. There is a coupon code that can save you guys a bit of money using my personal reference to get you there. Again, that'll save you a bit of cash in your Flight Sim Expo 2023 experience. This is going to be June 23rd through the 25th of 2023. Again, in Houston, Texas, at the Lone Star Flight Museum. I went a few years ago in Las Vegas, and they are an absolute great time. There's some very, very informative and educational seminars to help better your flight simming experience, as well as a ton of developers of both hardware and software that you guys actually get to try out, essentially a try before you buy experience, as well as talking with the developers themselves and finding out what the products are all about. So again, guys, it's going to be Flight Sim Expo 2023 in Houston, Texas. I hope to see you guys all there. Don't forget to use my coupon code that you can find down in the description below. If you are interested in acquiring any of my Overkills tutorial guides or simply interested in supporting the channel, please consider joining me on Patreon. Patreon subscribers level tier 2 and above have access to all of my guides, as well as any future guides that come along down the road. Patreon link can be found in the description below, and thank you to all of my current subscribers. All right, so first off, let's talk about why I'm doing this. First off, I've always been a pretty big fan of Carenado aircraft. Now, I know they get a pretty bum rap when it comes to flight model and realistic world performance. Now, I don't have any basis other than years and years ago flying the 182 with my father, remembering that it was relatively fast and powerful and a pretty fun aircraft to fly around. But what I do have is the relationship in comparison to other simulated aircrafts that we have here. For example, my previous video, if you guys go back and look at that, or I'll try to remember to put a card up right now, is the 172 with the improvement mod that makes the aircraft far more closer to real world specifications in its operating procedures, as well as the performance operation. You have aircraft like the Tecnam, and we have aircraft like the, what was the one I just did? The Just Flight P28. And some of these aircraft that you can really tell in the way they fly and the way that they're behaving as you're flying, and some of the things that they're doing that they definitely are far closer to that real world performance. The reason why I chose the 182 today and to try to make this comparison is because the 182 is obviously significantly more powerful than the 172, a bit more fun to fly, a little bit bigger, a bit more roomy, and certainly has a bit longer legs on her. And so we're going to try it out today. Again, it's gone through some various updates since the last time I flew it. I haven't flown it in a very, very long time, guys, easily over a year now. And so I figured we would revisit this aircraft today, see what kind of performance we get out of it, see what the checklists look like again, and see how it compares to, say, the previous video that I just did about the 172. Are we getting truly spectacular numbers? Is there a true improvement amongst the two aircrafts, or is it really just a 182 shell? Let's find out. All right, so let's go ahead and get things rolling. We're obviously going to start with the checklist and see what that looks like. That's right. It does not exist there. It exists. I gotta remember where it is. I know they have one. At least I thought they had one in this aircraft. Oh, I didn't mean to release the parking brake. I thought you could click on the skyline, and it would bring up the knee board. Oh. Am I the only one? Am I not remembering this correctly? Great, so we can open the door. Why do I think that there was a checklist for this aircraft? There it goes. I was like, I knew there was something here, man. Okay, so obviously, you know, we're not going to go through all the different features with the Carenado aircraft, but you guys know they always are real big on static elements, exterior features, baggage, doors, etc. But what I'm really looking for is I thought they had a checklist. And honestly, I thought it was that. Yeah, it even says it on it. Let me see if it's a bad camera angle or... Interesting. I mean, I'm pretty sure that I can get the 182 started, but I wanted to walk through some of the checklist procedures, and I thought you had to click on that. Nope, I think I'm losing my mind now. Well, that kind of sucks. A little stuttery just doing that, isn't it? All right, well, let's just walk through what we know. We won't be able to do the run-up check. So that's already kind of a bummer to me. And if you guys know what I'm doing wrong, tell me in the comments, because I swear there was a way to pull this out. I was almost positive of it. Like, I know they had a checklist for this aircraft. Anyway, let's just walk through it. So let's just see what we got here. So obviously, battery, alternators, everything off. Standby battery is off. Avionics bus are off. All lights are off. Pitot heat's off. Prop heat, all circuit breakers pushed in and closed. We have throttle, prop, and mixture all pulled out and cut off. Fuel tank selection for, let's see here. All right, currently we're set to both, so that's fine. Trim is set to neutral. And let's see here, let's close that. Flaps are retracted. And then I think we're good to go here. So let's go ahead and, well, we'll leave the door open for now. I do like always listening to the sounds. All right, so let's go ahead and turn that standby battery on. Here she comes to life here. Let's do, battery and then alternators, what I wanted to do there, my fault. Let's turn our lights on, nav lights and beacon light, letting everyone know the aircraft's getting ready to do something. Let's get that prop pushed forward here. Our mixture over to full rich, back about 1/2 inch here. Fuel selection is already set. Parking brake we've already verified. And let's go ahead and crack that throttle about 1/4 inch here. Shouldn't need to prime or anything. The weather's nice and pretty today, so let's go ahead and give her a nice clear prop out the window. Good engine start. Let's get her down to about 1,000 RPMs. Oil pressure on the rise, oil temp on the rise. Fuel quantity, looking at about 20 gallons. Verify barometric pressure. Simulate some clearance information here. Let's go to the transponder here. We are going to be traveling on VFR. All right, so let's go ahead and set that transponder over to on. There we go, looking good. Go ahead and close the doors here. All right, and let's turn the avionics bus 1 and 2 on now that we have a good engine start. Autopilot system we can leave in its current state. And we're just going to do some patterns. Nothing too crazy. I wish somebody would overhaul this aircraft. I don't think this one's been done. If it is, then I've missed it. But that'd be a cool one to have. Let's get the head tracker going here. Get my old headset on here. And let's turn on track IR here. I do get tired of the glass cockpits. They get boring. And it's just because they all look the same, right? You know, flown one, you fly them all, as far as the avionics goes. All right, let me center my head here, staring at the center of the screen, and give that a pop. All right, so let's see what we got here. That's going to be our oxygen. We're not going to be going anywhere near that high. Just going to be doing a couple circuits, some touch and goes. Let's verify wind information here. We do need to get that, so let's at least do that here. Just go to our weather information. Go to MEDAR. And let's see what Tucson's looking like. Calm winds. No kidding. Wow. That's not actually true. I can tell you that right now. Visibility 10, temperature 34, dew point 7, altimeter 2999er. Okay, I'll believe that part. I don't believe the winds. We definitely have pretty good breeze. I'd say it's a good 10 knots out there right now. So live weather isn't quite up to par yet, but we take it the way we can get it, right? All right, now I'm going to try to do what I can remember from run up here. Now I know we want to go, if I remember correctly, it's 2,500 RPMs. Maybe it's 2,000 RPMs. And I could be wrong on this, guys. We're just gonna try what I got. Nah, it's gotta be 1500. 2000's too fast. What's idle? Yeah, let's take her to 1500. Alright. So this. Exercise the prop. Okay. And let's see here. Oil temperature's looking good. Cylinder head temperature's pretty good. Let's watch that. Let's mix for altitude here. Ah, even that doesn't work on this. Okay. Alright, I think we're good to go for what we've got, for what I can recall. I'm sure there's still things that I'm missing, but did the best that I could to simulate what I could. Hello, I don't want my display lights on. Cabin, defrost. Fine, I don't care. The lights can stay on. Alright, let's turn that taxi light on. Let's release our parking brake. Brakes are good. Why am I so high? I always feel like the seats are too low in these aircraft, like in comparison to the windows. I don't remember being this far low. I don't remember being so low that you can't see above the dash. Even as a young boy, I remember being able to see the prop, but man, these camera angles. By the way, I've had multiple people ask me about my ability to move around the camera view lately, guys. That is Track IR. Track IR gives you the ability to lean in, lean out, up and down. I have my Z-axis to lean in and out right now. It's actually disabled. So to do this, I use the mouse wheel. It's disabled because I was having some issues with it in a different simulator. So. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn those landing lights on. Strobe light comes on. I believe the taxi light can come off now. Pitot heat, we shouldn't need it today, so I'm not going to worry about that. Transponder, let's go ahead and get that over to the altitude position, and we are good to take the runway. I'm going to set flaps 1 for takeoff just so we can do a short takeoff here. 1 left, big boy. Plenty of runway here. So we're going to about 4,000 feet. We're looking for 1,400 feet, or 1,400, excuse me, 1,400 AGL above, or AGL, or pattern altitude. Feels so high, dude. Definitely has no problem pushing through the climb, that's for sure. These camera angles are just terrible. They really are. I know I keep mentioning it, but like, in order to get my head down low enough where I can see the runway, I mean, and that's the whole point of a high-wing aircraft, is the visibility. You have tons of visibility in a high wing. Sounds sound weird to me, but as far as the way it's flying, I don't like it in comparison to the others, unfortunately. And the reason why I'm starting to really pay attention to this, as I've mentioned in previous videos, is hopefully this year things are going to finally get to a point where I can start looking at getting my pilot's license. And so, you know, I got to start taking some of this a bit more seriously now, in the aspect of if I want to use this as any kind of a training aid. So, the views are kind of annoying. The aircraft it doesn't feel like it's flying, it feels like it's sliding. It feels like it's on a pendulum, like if we were just rocking. It doesn't feel like it's floating, it feels like it's swinging on an arm that's above us, and just odd behavior. And again, I want to make it very clear that I am not putting Carenado down. Each developer has their own goals and their own, you know, aspirations, what they're trying to bring to the sim. You know, everybody does something a little bit differently, so that's just something to be considered. All right, so I'm pulling some power off here. I'm in a little close. It wasn't quite on the reciprocal heading. We're close. We'll just do a quick touch and go and see how it goes. Now let's go flaps 1. Should be there. Yep. All right. Let's turn base. Yeah. See, it's very, very slidey. And if you add any rudder to it to try to coordinate the turn, it almost makes it worse. Yeah. Can't see a damn thing. Should be on the perpendicular here. Oh, no. I keep turning. Oh. Let's keep going for final. Flaps 2. Drop back in. If I did this right, we should roll out right where we need to be, but I feel like I'm wide. A little bit. Sorry about that. My wife decided to scare the hell out of me and trying to get me to try her chili. So, got a little behind the curve there. Trying to get her down to 65 knots for the approach. Yeah, see, it's hard to see. Full flaps. there's no... Unfortunately, I've already pretty much come up with my conclusion. And that there just wasn't any... I don't even know how to describe it. I didn't feel any kind of ground effect, which I know Microsoft Flight Simulator is already lacking. Your team at Asobo, I mean, don't get me wrong, again, not trying to put anyone down, any discredit, anything, but ground effect is something that we all know greatly needs to be addressed in this simulator. Ground effect is pretty terrible in the sim. But the aircraft just doesn't fly like some of the other aircraft, so I think my general consensus here is that it can definitely not be used as any kind of training aid, as I believe some of the other aircraft truly can. Maybe not to perfection, but certainly from a procedural standpoint and the overall, some of the simulations of events that may take place based on your flight. We're going to go ahead and bring it up. What the hell happened there? Oh, it's the dump. That's what that is. That hole is way too big, but all right. We're going to go ahead and try that one more time for a full stop. Even when I start to turn, it's almost like the aircraft slides up. Like, let's see if I can make it do it. Yeah, see? That time it dipped down, but I went really dramatic with the wing dip. But yeah, some odd behavior. If you guys know of a good improvement mod for the 182, let me know. Let me know. Because the 182 really is a cool airplane. Like I said, I wish we had it in the steam gauge version. I get really tired of the glass cockpits. They get old. But let's go ahead and turn back to our reciprocal here. I believe it's 301. Could have always put it in the localizer, but localizer, schmocalizer, right? So that's what we're going with. You guys backing me up on that? Come on. No, went too far. Damn it. Yeah, just very odd steering characteristics. Camera angles just really do seem off, but maybe I'm just remembering things wrong. Out of the right side, obviously it's good, but the left side I don't remember having to dip my head down quite so far to be able to see out of it, but like I said, I could be losing my mind too. I'm in too close at the airport, that's alright. We'll make it work. We'll do a full turn in here for our approach. To ignore a spam call. Yeah, just really weird. Like when it turns, it's almost accentuately delayed, if that's even a word. Alright, power off. Again, we're going to make this sort of a short field approach, so we're just trying to make this all in one here. Flaps one. Two. And trying to coordinate with the rudder, and it just doesn't really want to. It's just not really bringing that tail around like I would expect it to. We're going to go wide again, and this time I'm going to be in too short. Yeah. Too short, too high. Space shuttle approach. That was awful. That didn't work out at all. But I did call that in the pattern. I knew that I was in too close. I didn't go out near far enough. It happens, I guess. that prop back to full. Keeping the power off. There's that last stage of flaps coming in. Yeah, dude, like it just seesaws. You see this? It's seesawing. Even on the G1000 you can see it. Yeah, don't get me wrong, there was nothing good about that approach. That approach was pilot error from start to finish. But the behavior of the aircraft is just odd. So unfortunately, you want to say you're flying a 182 and just have a good time. I mean, obviously, again, I don't want to put down Carenado aircraft. I was just trying to do a comparison of, had it gotten any better from a realistic standpoint and as a functional aircraft to possibly use to study on? And the answer to that is definitely not. And this camera angle is ridiculous. Like, it should not be, like, I feel like I should not be staring at that right now. So, anyway, hope you guys found the video useful. Yes, I'm just going to sort of stick it somewhere and close the sim down. I was really hoping for better performance out of that, but that was very... It's weird. Coming from some of the more advanced aircraft to these aircraft, I do start to see it. But like, for example, the Mooney, I still enjoy flying very, very much. You know, that's one of theirs as well. And I think it's a fantastic aircraft. And again, it doesn't necessarily fly to the same level of realism that some of the other aircraft do. But I find that it flies definitely a lot better than this. So I think it really just depends on what aircraft and maybe what resources they had available at the time that they were developing. I'm not sure. Let me know what you guys think of the 182 and ways that could have been improved on it. Certainly leave out the pilot error comments, guys. I know there was a lot of them. I'm aware of that. Again, as goal in this particular aircraft in flight today was just to see the behavior of the aircraft and, you know, how it felt in comparison to some of the others. So as always, guys, stay safe and healthy, and I will see you guys in the next one.